Hello everybody, it is Monday the 25th of September. I want to talk about the laws of nature, being within the laws of nature, the fact that is thrown at us all the time that we're outside the laws of nature, and really looking at, and another thing is a video I saw this morning, or at least part of a video that I watched this morning where this guy was sitting there talking about quantum and saying that quantum is in no way rooted in this world. It is a flight of fantasy that has no roots in this world, and that is actually wrong. It very much has roots in this world, and it has got roots in nature. The idea of opposing possibilities, or more than one possibility, is very much rooted in nature. So nature, or Earth, has made choices. It heavily favors one thing over another, but it doesn't mean the other thing does not exist. In fact, it must exist. If we say the Creator is all possibilities, then for every possibility that you choose, the opposite must exist to reflect the Creator, out of which this is made. So the fact that a reality exists is actually a choice. Something made a choice. Whether that was Earth itself or something created Earth, I don't know, but it is a choice, and that is God creating order out of chaos, and in creating hers order, it comes into being. That's what creates a reality. So Earth made a choice, and the choice heavily favors the separation of the male and the female. It is all over nature, the separation of the male and the female. But to say the other does not exist is wrong. So if you have the separation of the male and the female, for that the other exists. In the snail, for instance, which is a hermaphrodite. Snails are hermaphrodites. So the other possibility does exist, and it must exist in order to reflect possibilities. So you've chosen the separation, Earth has chosen the separation, and it heavily favors it, but the other must exist, even if it is in a very, very, very small place, but it must exist. And then the other thing, like Russell Means saying, I yet have to see a male, anything, given birth. Well, Russell Means did overlook the seahorse, because there is a male giving birth. Again, Earth favors the female giving birth in nature, in the reflection of its own thought, which is nature. It favors the female giving birth. But again, the other must exist to reflect the possibilities. What people are doing at the moment, changing sexes, like left, right, and center, that is against nature. Well, I think it's only some frogs, but yeah, it exists in nature. Again, nature favors, Earth favors stability. Yeah? You're born one thing, you stay that thing until you die. And that is what mainly happens. But the other possibility does exist, must exist, to reflect the Creator. All of nature is ruled by nature. So the rock, the plant life, the animals, those that live on low levels of consciousness, very little self-determination. I mean, with the animal, it increases, self-determination does increase over, as you go up to the animal kingdom, where there is some self-determination, but it's still very much ruled over by the intention of the whole, And then we came into being. Now again, is our existence wrong? Or did we have to come into being to be the one part that would reflect the Creator, as in, the rule is things are being ruled over by nature to certain extents, and then something else must exist that can be completely independent, have complete free will. Then our existence is not wrong. It actually must be to reflect the Creator, to reflect the other possibility, the opposite. Did we come into being in the wrong way? I think we did. Most of the stories seem to suggest that somebody diddled with nature and created us as a possibility. I think Earth, in the end, would have created that possibility itself. It must do. To be a reflection of the Creator, it must do. It must create something that has free will and that it does not rule over. But, as I said, I think it happened before it should have happened. But that is spilt milk. There's no good griping about that now, or even thinking about it. That is something we are not confronted with as a fact. We exist and we have free will. So then how did this free will express itself? And that is where all of nature receives its information from nature and therefore is being ruled over by nature. Very little independent thought. But with us starting to reason, we detached from the knowledge of this. And there is something, and that is we got information through reasoning. That is, we're already still looking at what is in nature, but we also got information reaching out. That is the spiritual way, the way of revelation. And there's a funny thing where the idea of the hermaphrodite, for instance, of the androgynous God, came to us the spiritual way long before our materialistic reasoning understood what a snail was. Yeah? So, and how a snail functions. And here's a thought I had this morning, and that is where you would have to look for the anomalies, what we would call the anomalies. Those things that are not favored by nature it is like looking like a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I mean, we knew about snails for a long time. We've seen snails, yeah, mostly eating our lettuce, so we thought, don't like that one. But to actually understand what a snail is in its biology, and then again, maybe now, for me, understanding the meaning of a snail, and that is that it must exist to reflect the other possibility, and therefore reflect the Creator. To find that, I say, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. The seahorse is an even smaller needle in the haystack. But if we go out there, and I say, if we might connect to other worlds, as I said, this world favored the possibility of the separation of the male and the female. And then when we come here, our spiritual body becomes a reflection of that. Yeah, the separation of the male and the female, and through that reasoning. So that is what is favored here, and to find the other possibilities, as I said, looking for a needle in a haystack. But if we go out there and there are other worlds, did those other worlds favor also the separation? Or is the cosmos as a whole maybe more androgynous or more hermaphrodite? I mean, again, are we now the one thing that proves the rule, or that is the balance piece to the rest of the cosmos? If the rest of the cosmos is hermaphrodite, and then we are maybe the ones that are in that bigger picture, the thing that proves the rule. You know, that is a reflection of a creator that must exist to prove all other possibilities. I don't know, but it seems that if going out in the spiritual way, we could find that thought of the hermaphrodite much more readily than we could find it here. So maybe there it is more prevalent. Easier to find, no longer a needle in the hay. Out there it is actually the haystack. That is a possibility. And so no, we are not against nature. We are something that must be contained in nature, so that nature itself reflects the creator. Quantum is not something that is not rooted in this world. It is just very hard to see, because nature favors one thing very heavily, and that's what you see, and then you think that is all. But quantum is rooted in nature because the other possibility always exists. It's just very hard to find. Earth is balanced, you know, in a way that favors one thing over another. And the fact that we are conscious is not against nature. It is something that Earth needed to become a bigger reflection of the Creator himself. So we actually evolved Earth, you could say, to a greater state by creating the other possibility to everything is being ruled over. What on earth do we do with this? And that is the next thought. And why are we getting these thoughts now? Why are we awakening to this realization? Yeah? Again, most of the world still has to waken up to the realization that it is actually not against nature, but it needs to be there for nature to be a true reflection of the Creator. So, but if you, again, we're not bad, we are not wrong, we are completing the picture, but we are now a part that is, again, we are in the minority. And what is this minority supposed to do? And why are we waking up to this now? And why are we being woken up to this? And what do we do with this realization? And that is something we need to think about. But first of all, you need to accept what you are. There's a way of accepting what it is you are. And that it is not against creation. It is, you were necessary to fulfill the intention of creation in this world. So where do we go from here? Anyway, something I need to think about. I was already going forward with that in another video I made earlier, but I think one step at a time. So this is this step finished, and let's go from here. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.